Hello YouTube, LJ Draco here. Yes, okay, so as you got by the title and by the thumbnail, you could probably guess what this is. Thumbnail's a bit different to the others. That's because I lost my original thumbnail and I don't know how to get that image back. But it is time for a new episode of Yes, Back to My Future has 2 new episodes because the last episode I did was for 2016, and as you guys know, I did my top 10. If you have not seen that video, I do recommend to go and check out all my Back to My Futures. Now, just for those who are probably watching this and haven't watched any of those, Back to My Future was an original idea by me years ago, where it's not, okay, when I say original idea, I mean that the title and the series was an original idea. A lot of people have done similar videos, but the title and the series was an original idea. But basically, what I do is I originally started off doing 3 of my favourite movies from the year I was born till the year I was present in. And then it started kind of going from like 3 movies to 5, 5 movies to about 7, then 7 movies to 10. I started doing top 10. But I got from 1993 to 2016, and it ended quite there. So I've got 2 new episodes. There'll be 1 this week, 1 next week. This one is for 2017. I've got my top 10 list ready, and I don't know what months they came out, but I know they came out in the year of 2017. So it doesn't matter. There is a little bit of a thing you want. I'm going to do that one first, just so people can get an idea. So there's going to be technically 11 movies, but this one is more of a kind of honourable mention. You know? Right, so let's get started anyway. I got my little bit of paper here that has the names on them. I guess I forgot. Right, so this honourable mention goes to, and I know this movie didn't come out in 2017, but it was shown in cinemas towards the end of 2017, which is why it still makes this list. So even though the movie wasn't made in that year, it was brought back to cinemas and back to a release in 2017. And because this is my top 10 movies of 2017, it shouldn't really matter if they really was made in that year or if they got released in that year. That's why it's honorable mention, because that way it's not really part of the actual 2017 list. But let's just get into it. Right, so this one is Terminator 2 Judgment Day 3D. This is the remastered version released by James Cameron. Reason this is definitely on my 2017 list is because I was already a massive fan of the Terminator movies. I'm not so keen on the first. The first was okay, but Terminator 2 in my eyes was still the best Terminator movie. So when I heard that James Cameron was going to do his legendary 3D thing, and he was going to bring Terminator 2 3D to the cinemas, I was all over it. I was like, yes, of course, I have to go and see it. It's only in cinemas for a couple of days, and I did. I went with my brothers, and we had a great time. Then, the Blu-ray did get released, a bit long after, but not too long after. But, in general, the reason why it's definitely on this list is because you can never get enough of watching Terminator 2 Judgment Day. But, the reason it's also on this list is because with that 3D conversion, it has made the movie 100 times more fun and exciting. From the beginning scene, where the endoskeleton stands on the skulls and you hear the bones crunch, to where you see all the laser cannons, to just where you see Arnie in the levers on the bike speeding down a highway with that nice depth with a little bit of pop out of the bike, and when he's standing there with a shotgun you see the barrel stick out the screen. It's just incredible. Your eyes are full of love with the immersive experience, so that's why it's on this list. Now I'm going to try and go in alphabetical order. I may get something wrong, I do apologise. I didn't write them down in alphabetical order, which makes it worse. So, we start off then with Baby Driver. This film, I'm not going to talk too much about every film, but I'll just tell you what I thought and why it's on the list. So Baby Driver is, I would do my favourite, but I'll tell you what my number 1 film of 2017 is at the end. So it's not going to be like going down from 10 to 1 like it should, just because I didn't really have time to think about where they go on a list, but I know what my number 1s are for both, if that helps. Right, so just go down alphabetical order, but I'll leave my favourite one till last. So, Baby Driver, I said, is the first one up. Baby Driver is a really intelligent movie. Really well done. I love the... Okay, other than, yet again, Kevin Spacey, I'm not keen as him an actor. I said this is before his past. I never really liked him as an actor apart from in Pay It Forward. I've said this in a previous video that hopefully this gets uploaded beforehand. So when you watch that video, you'll still understand what makes sense. But you kind of ignore him. He's not that important to the story when you think about it. But I love the actors. I love the characters. I mean, I'm a massive fan of John Hamm. I think he's incredible. Love him in Mad Men. But the story is just so well told. It's such a unique, original kind of idea that you can just sit down and enjoy every second of it. You know, like you don't have, your brain won't switch off from what's going on. You'll be fully focused on the story. And for modern Hollywood to make a film so unique to that point where it can just grip you from the get-go, it's very rare. So you hold on to it every second, and that's why it's in this top 10. Next up for 2017 is Disney's live-action Beauty and the Beast. Yet again, reasons for being on this list. Now, Beauty and the Beast, the live-action, has a lot of original things taken from the original 90s classic. And, yeah, I can kind of understand that when it comes to live actions, if they just completely rip from the Disney classics to the live actions, it can tend to get a bit boring. There are so many things that are different about the live action that is not about the animated classic that makes this film work as a completely different film. You could watch the 90s and the new one like side by side and you wouldn't think you're watching the same movie. Because even though the story and the characters are all the same, there are some major differences between the two. And one of the major differences I have to explain and express on, which made me definitely have this movie in my top 10 list of 2017, is exactly what I said about it in its review. In the original 90s classic, when Beast lets Belle go from the tower to go help her father, he stands at the top of the castle and just roars. And that's supposed to give you an display of his emotion. Whereas in this live action, Beast has his own solo song that, in my opinion, is the best song in the film. And that is why this movie makes it on the top 10, because we got to see Beast's true, raw emotion with this song. And it made the character Beast a million times more lovable than he already was in the classic. So that's why it's on this list. Next up for 2017 is Coco. Now the Blu-ray itself didn't get released till 2018, but the film, on all the things that I've researched, it says 2017 on its title. So it's on this list. Why? Because yet again, Disney Pixar has hit it out of the ballpark when it comes to emotional, heart-wrenching stories. And Coco is one of those. And the difference between Coco to most other Disney Pixar movies is Coco is not just focusing on just a pure, pulling at the heartstrings. This one is focusing so much on culture, on story, on family. And not only that, but it's also focusing on the life after death plane. And it's thinking of different ways. Like, if you haven't seen Coco, then like you can skip just about maybe a minute of this video. But in Coco, one of the main parts of the story is that people, if they get forgotten after they die again. And this time it's permanently. They don't get to live in the spiritual world. To me, that's a terrifying thing to think of. I mean, even as a kid, if you were a kid watching it, you could go, oh my God. And it's always like that as well, because when you're a kid, you've always had those distant relatives that you've met like once, you find out they passed away and you go, oh, that's sad. But because you didn't really know them, you didn't know how to act, so now you're thinking, oh, whoops. You tend to think like that. It gets kind of funny. Yeah, so purely for Disney Pixar doing what it does best, it's definitely on this list. Next up, a film of mine that has become at least my third favorite movie of all time. The Greatest Showman. This movie, yet again, I know a lot of people give it some crap, but to be honest, I cannot love this movie any more than I already do. The music is brilliant. There is one song in this movie I know people don't like particularly because it was overplayed, and I will admit that when songs get overplayed from movies, people tend to hate it. Like Let It Go. Sorry, that literally made my brain hurt when I mentioned that. I can't focus now because it's one of those things that hits you in the head like, ugh. The problem is, This Is Me, the song in Greatest Showman, genuinely speaks about my childhood. And no other film, I mean, Moulin Rouge, as you guys know, is my favourite movie of all time. And those songs represent parts of my life that is just amazing. But this speaks to my childhood. And I could not stop bawling my eyes out during this song. Every time I hear it, I just want to break down and cry because all it does is brings back that childhood. Not only that, but from now on, Hugh Jackman's greatest number in the film is brilliant. It's about self-realization. It's about making up for the mistakes. And for a song to pick up on that and show raw passion for what is really important compared to what isn't, it's fantastic. You can never get enough of a bit of Hugh Jackman. But not only that, Zac Efron has proven to yet again be a really good actor. He's not your typical annoying high school brat anymore. He is an actor. I think he's done enough serious and really good roles now to be put down as just an actor, you know? And I give him credit for that. Okay, so next up, Happy Death Day. Now, there is a really good reason why this one landed the list. Really good reason why it landed the list is purely for the fact that it is a great film. I wouldn't say it's a horror. It doesn't scare me. I don't think it scared anyone. It's more like a comedy horror, if anything. But it's brilliant. It's like Groundhog Day, but with horror. Not only that, the characters are hilarious. The story is brilliant. There's some things that happen in that movie that just make me chuckle every time I see it. Yes, that's why it makes the list. So next up is Logan. Logan, oh my god, I cannot say enough about this film. Probably, in my opinion, the best mutant movie, which it's a very difficult thing to say considering Deadpool is so good. But Deadpool is a mutant comedy movie, so I can kind of different genre in some aspects. I've just noticed that my lips are extremely pink. I look like I'm wearing lipstick. It's my natural lip color. It's upsetting. I look like I'm trying to be one of those Kardashian girls with the cups, and I don't know, my lips are quite huge. I didn't notice that before. Anyway, Logan is the perfect mutant tale. And not only that, it's so scary to think about Logan because of the things that's happening in Xavier's life along with Logan's is quite terrifying to think of, you know? I mean, Xavier has the most powerful mind in the world. What happens when he gets old or gets dementia? You know, like how terrifying that could be. And it gave some form of realism. Now, I'm going to explain this, what I mean by realism. With the X-Men movies, we know they're comic book movies, so we know there's going to be giant battles and lasers and flying and all this shit, and we expect it because it's fun. With Logan, it shows, like, what if X-Men and mutants were real? What if powers were real? How bad would they look? How bad would they feel if this shit happened in real life? And that's why Logan makes the top 10 list. Next up is The Shape of Water. Shape of Water is, yet again, Guillermo del Toro is amazing. I love his work, apart from Pan's Labyrinth. I know I'm going to get so much hate for that again. I don't care. I'm sorry, I really did not like Pan's Labyrinth. I did explain in one of Sasha's live streams or videos like why I don't like Pan's Labyrinth. It's not because the film wasn't great, it's just it had a lot of faults, and because of it, it was too messy. But The Shape of Water is a great story. It's kind of like Beauty and the Beast, but for the more raunchy audience. It brings a whole nother term to she smells a bit fishy. Sorry, I had to... Okay, calm. Oh, I might just keep it in, fuck it. I'm sorry. It's better than my other joke, trust me. Okay, hang on. Alright. Okay, so it's about, yet again, it touches on some real life topics in some aspects. Like, he is creature, she is human, but yet they have quite a lot of similarities. So just because you're different on the outside don't mean internally you're perfect for each other. It also sounds wrong, but I think you guys know what I mean when I say it. Yeah, so it is like Beauty and the Beast, but it is more for the adult audiences. But Michael Shannon in this was a great actor, really good character, although he plays this character quite a lot. Boardwalk Empire, this, even as Zod in Man of Steel, he has the same type of control freak, leader character, but it works, it suits him. I couldn't imagine him playing like a nice guy, very shy character, it wouldn't work. Really wouldn't work. But yeah, this movie is just fantastic. 100% fantastic. Next up, we have a beautiful film, Valerian. Luc Besson, great man. You know, the mind that... Oh, I just tripped. The mind that gave us Fifth Element. How could we not be happy about that? Valerian is a beautiful, in some ways, sequel. And I'm so happy we got a 3D release for it because it just looks even a million times more better than the 2D. But, yet again, I'm not a big fan of Dane DeHaan. I think he's a good actor. I'm just not particularly keen on him. I do like Cara Delevingne. I think she's a fantastic actress. And a lot of people give her crap saying, oh, well, she's just very bland. No, I think the reason why no one liked her in Suicide Squad is because she wasn't exactly given a great role in that, to be honest. She could have played a much better character. But I like Cara Delevingne as an actress. I think she does a really good job. And I really like her in Valerian. But I love Valerian because it's also funny, it's emotional, it's adventurous. And also, we've got to give credit to Rihanna. Sasha, I know if you're watching, please stop touching yourself. but she is a good actress in this, and she does play a really good job as a character called Bubbles. I mean, it works. That is why this is also on this list. So, last movie before I tell you my number one is Wonder Woman. Now, reason for being. Again, I know Wonder Woman got a lot of shit from audiences. Ow, she's not American. Wonder Woman was always American. So what? So what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all because Gal Gadot played this character really well. Not only that, it is the best DC movie to come out since The Dark Knight. The characters are great. The story is fantastic. I love the whole overpowering women because the fact is, women are more powerful than men, emotionally and physically, right? It is scientifically proven that men get a lot more emotional than women, even though we don't believe it, but it's true. Trust me, I cry a lot. So speaking from experience as a man, we cry like little bitches, okay? But not only that, the fact is, women have to endure so much. You know, the things they go through once a month, childbirth, it's so much they have to go through. And it sucks that they have to suffer in that way. I guess with childbirth, there's something nice to look forward to at the end, unless you didn't want it, then it's a horrible thing to look forward to at the end. But you know what I mean, it's just, women have to endure so much. So the whole powerful women society was really well done. I love the Amazons, I think they're all incredible. But my only fault with the movie was the guy they got to play the villain. I like the actor and I think his role was brilliant. But they got him to play the wrong guy. And that was kind of upsetting because it was a waste of his talents to some degree. But I also like Chris Pine in this movie. I think he's brilliant. I just think the story is so well told that it's definitely one of the best DC movies to come out since Dark Knight. Now, the last movie on this list, which is my number one favourite, is a movie I mentioned recently in my pickup video that you should see either hopefully before or after this. And that's Loving Vincent. Only reason for being is I didn't expect to be blown away by what this movie has to offer. As you can see by the picture, this is how the movie is shot. So if you have seen that video, I've already explained it, but if you haven't seen that video, the movie is shot like the way it looks in this picture. It's like a moving painting. But not only that, the characters told the story of Vincent so well that it made me appreciate the man for what he was going through, what he was struggling with. The man was suffering yet again with mental health. The man was suffering so much that he expressed his feelings through paintings. And the man didn't get appreciated in his time. And if the man was ever alive, it reminds me of this Doctor Who episode. It's been such a long time since I've seen it, so I can't specifically remember it, but I know for a fact that Lauren's Collection, I know if you're watching, you'll know what episode I'm talking about. But it's where the Doctor takes Van Gogh to the future and takes him to the museum, and he sees the painting of the vase with the flowers, and he breaks to know that even though no one appreciates him in his time, hundreds of years later, people will appreciate and love his work. And it made him feel special. I love that. I felt amazed in that episode. And then watching this film, everyone they got to play every character, I just thought this movie worked so well. And that's why it deserves a number one spot on my list. Anyway, that is the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video and previous videos, don't forget to strike the like for future videos. And if you're new to my channel and only seen a couple of my videos, click the subscribe button down below. I'd surely appreciate it. Anyway, take care, you wonderful, wonderful people, and I shall see you next time. Bye-bye!